Watch as we turn a late-game Darkness Falls Horde into an absolute joke. Zombies unable to traverse the simplest of designs, all for you to exploit to your advantage. By the end of this video, you will never struggle with Darkness Falls Hordes ever again. Welcome to Darkness Falls survivors. This is Eerie Knight of the Pseudo Posse, and today we are going to do lots of testing to find the perfect horde-based design that will trivialize Darkness Falls Hordes. And we are going to go simple here. Me? Simple? I know, right? I'm sure half of you are shaking your heads in disbelief. And for those of you that did, screw you all. You know me too well. But hey, give me a little trust here. So, simple. We won't rely on electric traps to do the bulk of our damage. Instead, we're going to rely on intelligent pathing design and fall damage. Unlike vanilla 7 Days to Die, fall damage in Darkness Falls is absolutely beast. Go check out our recent early game Darkness Falls Horde bases, link in the description below to see how you can abuse fall damage even in the early hordes to make up for your low damage output. So let's use that in our late game stage base. Now for the intelligent pathing design. And for those who immediately thought of the wedge narrow shapes, screw you all even more. No, today is a glorious day, as we will be doing something quite different. It is well known fact that zombies cannot handle changing direction very well. There are several base designs out there in the YouTube void that use such concepts, but I don't think I have seen it used in Darkness Falls, and most importantly, I want to put my own spin on it and come up with my own block layout configuration. Hence all the testing I mentioned at the beginning. So let's jump into it. This is my test setup, quite simple as promised. The idea to start is we can take some simple ramp blocks and cube meters to construct a path that shifts direction the zombies have to run. Ultimately, the goal will be for them to run and fall off the path. Ideally, no zombies will be able to reach me. Let's spawn some in, and well, that was rather easy for them. Okay, new plan. Full cube blocks are too big. Let's go with something a bit narrower. The half block, half the size. Perfect. Not perfect. For those keeping track, this is the exact opposite of the ideal case. Half blocks are just too thick. Perhaps some poles? Spawn some zombies in and they are immediately running around the stairs and oh, look, one ran up. Aw, thanks. And then immediately back down. That was short-lived. Yeah, stupid me. I should have gone with the center pole variant. For some strange reason, zombies do not see corner poles and pillars as a path. For more information on how that works, check out our Alpha 21 Blocks entry video. Essentially, if the pole or pillar is in the corner of the cube volume, zombies will not path across it. So instead, let's go with the centered variation. And wow! Still not working. Apparently Darkness Falls zombies are super particular. Screw poles, let's go with pillars. They are round and just superior. Replace all the stupid poles with pillars, spawn some zombies, and they are running along the path right to me. Yikes. I think the main flaw here is that the change in direction along the ramp blocks is too short. Maybe they need to run a longer distance and change direction first. Let's redesign this by extending the length of the angled path portion by placing more ramp blocks. And because narrow is better, let's place some pillars once again. Alright, that looks pretty good. Time for some more zombies. Nope, that had zero effect on their ability to run across. Let's redesign the path once again and construct it so the pillars align with the end of a ramp block rather than in the middle. Also, for the hell of it, let's replace the ramps with ramp inclines. Well, hell, they don't see that as a path. Perhaps the change in direction isn't drastic enough. I'm going to remove this piece here as I think we need to shift the path in a very sharp direction. Let's extend the path out just a bit and put in some centered pillars perpendicular to that path. And from there we shall connect to the main platform. Unleash the zombies. Ah, they're still getting to me. I know the answer. Even more angularity. 90 degrees is just too wide. Let's make a parallel angular path using the ramp block so they have to turn extremely sharply. Come to think of it, I think I should move this down a bit. This is too close. They'll just jump or run across the gap, I fear. Destroy these blocks and let's place it a bit further down. Though this might not work quite yet, I think we are on the right path. Pun totally intended there. Bring on the zombies. I could see some difficulty with them turning the corner, but not quite falling. I think we're close. How about we add some railing blocks into the mix, force them to jump. I'll place them perpendicular to the pathway and spawn some in. Well, first guy jumped off. That was awesome. Second and third down. This guy seems content to beat on the railing, and now he passed and is running to us. Dang, I thought we had it there. All right, time to mop them up. Maybe orientation matters? Let's put their first railing block perpendicular, but not at the entry to the angular path. And the second second railing, let's make that parallel to the path instead. Worked really nice. 2 ran off, 1 jumped off, and 1 got across to the second railing and fell off by jumping. I think if we optimize the placement of everything, we'll make it work extremely well. Would extending the length of the railings make it work better? Not really. It seems like it enables them to jump across more easily. Nope, that is definitely not the way to go. Let's try some alternative blocks instead of railings. The destroyed family of blocks have some irregular shapes in there that could produce some very nice results. Let's try a few and see what happens. Alright, it seems the angled path with a railing bar that is parallel to the path works the best, but let's do one last test. I'm going to increase the length of this pathway by adding more angular sections and railings. Only the first one will be parallel. The rest shall be perpendicular in different positions. This seems to be working as intended. The perpendicular railings do work, but I think the parallel approach is better as it causes zombies to just run right off with no jumping or beating. One last thing though. In my straight sections of the path, I'm still using the cube meter blocks, which provides them with the widest single block area to land on. Let's remove those, and let's not even go extreme with like a 0.025 meter pillar block or even narrower. I will do just a simple 0.5 meter block, centered of course, and see how they're able to handle those with the railings. Insane, that worked so well. Only 1 made it past the first railing and then eventually falls off. None are even getting to the second railing. I think we have a winning design. Now naturally you could replace the 0.5 meter blocks with something even more narrow, and that would most certainly work better, but let's go with that shape anyway for our design, just to prove how good it is using a suboptimal block. Because Darkness Falls has much stronger hordes, let's try to leverage existing POIs to save on the resources to build our base. So you can build something like this in your playthroughs. Now it goes without saying that this type of design would totally work in vanilla 7 days as well, so use it no matter what version of the game you are playing. So like we did with our testing, I'm going to make a windy angular path full of sharp turns to force zombies to change direction rapidly and fall down. I decided to build between 2 POIs over the street and will connect it on both ends. Not sure where our ultimate fighting platform placement will be. I'm playing it kind of freeform, see where the build takes me. One reason I chose this location in particular is because of the ditch below. I have plans for that ditch to protect the columns of my pathway. This is extremely vital, but more on that in a bit when we get to that part of the build. As I am building this, I am making sure to place all of the support columns in the ditch, and on the path itself, I will place all railing blocks parallel to the pathway as that seemed to work best. Seems like we are running into a bit of structural stability issues and we are over the pavement, not the ditch. Instead, I'm going to support from the POI itself. Recall earlier I said non-centered pillars and poles are not seen as a pathway. These blocks are perfectly suited as supports, as zombies won't shortcut and run along these and instead use the entryway. Honestly, I'm just making this up as I go. All I really am trying to do as I build is to not make any part of the base close enough that they jump across and make a shortcut. I don't want any cheaters here. They need to run along the entire length legitimately in order to reach me. To reroute the path, I'm going to use some pipe corners so the paths stay far enough away from each other. Okay, decision time. I'm running out of real estate and I need to either go above or below the existing path. This is already probably long enough to handle the horde, but you know, I cannot resist. And I want it to look super cool and windy. Hey, don't judge me. It's still simple, just, you know, a bit larger, you know? I'm still me. Oh, shut up. Okay, maybe give me slightly less trust next time. Anyways, while I rambled, I obviously chose down. Now, my only hesitation about this decision is I am worried they'll try to cheat by jumping down from above to the lower path. This isn't necessarily a bad thing if they cannot stick the landing, but we'll test that out before we finish everything. everything. Alright, so we finished up to this point, and I'm thinking to actually build our fighting platform where I am standing. We've got this nice long straightaway that we could shoot down if they get this far, and it is over the ditch still. Reason for that to be revealed. Let's get some zombos in here and see what they do. I'm a bit nervous as I hope the general concept works. Well, here goes nothing. Alright, the zombies fell off the first railing and one landed on the lower path. Now, were they actively trying to fall on the lower path, or was it just normal behavior as we saw in our earlier tests? Let's keep watching. The one that landed, she is running up the stairs. Uh-oh, that is backwards along the path, and she took the shortcut, jumped down, and stuck the landing. Son of a yeah. Going to play some more just before that segment, and wow, both stuck the landing again. Ugh. To save myself from having to delete the entire lower path and go above instead, I'm going to try to put some blocks down to see if that'll prevent them from jumping down. And they just ran to the end and jumped. Perfect. What if instead we use blocks they don't see as a path and surround the abyss with those? Those crafty devils, they're just going through the holes and dropping down. Well, damn. We're going to have to go up, but I feel terrible about destroying all the work I did creating the lower path. Perhaps we can salvage that in some way to use for something. Maybe I can configure it to be used as a secondary path, unconnected to the main path to route falling zombies somewhere. That way they won't aim for it. I'll find a way to make use of it, but for now, I'm going to build the stairs upward instead. Now that the new path is done, I'm curious to see how zombies will now act at this point. Well, first zombie fell all the way down, and the second zombie landed on the bottom path, which is disconnected from the main path. Interesting, she's running along, up the stairs, across the pillars, and seems confused and jumps down. Yeah, I think we can definitely make use of this defunct pathway and just have zombies waste more time and protect the bottom supports. But I want to see how they handle the entire pathway if they'll go the full path. To determine that, I'm going to take out all the railings so I can see what they'll do. Spawn 3 zombies in, and they're off. Wow. Apparently we can even do this without the railings potentially. All of them just fell around that corner. Nice. I'll still keep those in the final design, but it's nice to know the path without the railings can still hold its own. I'm going to spawn some a bit further up. Just pretend they made it past the first angle. Wow, this one ran so fast she fell onto the supports. And see here, this is exactly what I was saying before. Zombies don't see the non-centered pillar blocks as paths, and instead of running back to the path, she just starts committing suicide by jumping down the building. I'm feeling extremely confident now about the design. Now time to tackle the old ditch that I kept mentioning. So why build over the ditch and put all the columns here? Well, the answer is to protect the columns from being beat on after zombies fall down. Last thing I want is the entire thing to collapse. So what we're going to do is place unpathable blocks around each of the columns. This way, zombies falling won't be able to destroy them. And in order to use these blocks, they need to be placed in the air, not sitting on top of the ground. If they did, zombies would cross over them. Hence, the ditch. It gives us a conventional hole already dug, saving us time to dig it ourselves, and placing our blocks over it will prevent zombies from wrecking our columns. After placing non-pathable blocks around every column, we still want to prevent as many zombies as possible falling into the dirt at the base of the columns. So I'll put some pathable blocks to fill in the space so when they fall, they'll path back up to the roof and avoid the areas around the columns. Ideally, they should never land below in the dirt, but we'll handle that in case they do. I'll make a path for them to reach the road level from the bottom of the ditch so that they can get out and not get stuck down here and start beating everywhere. Space is a bit tight for our fighting platform over the ditch. I've got a mad thought though. Why not route it back to the original POI where the path starts and build our fighting platform on top? Unintentionally, our path is perfectly level with the roof. Just meant to be. My only worry by placing it here will be that zombies will just beat on the walls below instead of running the path. Only one way to find out. I'm going to sit my ass on the roof with no protection and unleash the Horde to see what they'll do. And the results are actually really awesome. The path is working as intended and zombies are attempting to run across it and falling. Even the larger ones. We do have a grouping falling below into the ditch, beating on the supports. Some of them are running out, but I think I need to make some extra exits closer to the path back up to the roof if they fall on the opposite side of the exit I made. Otherwise, looking very good. We do have some zombies trying to beat on the wall below me as I feared, but the bulk are going along the path so I can live with that that and simply reinforce the bottom to deter them. So let's fix the ditch. I'm going to make 2 more paths up from the bottom of the ditch for those that land down there. Hopefully they'll run back up with a path closer to them. Our first path will be a simple double ladder with some stairs, but in case the ladders are destroyed, I'll place the second path, a staircase, just over here. This should be suitable to lead zombies away from my precious supports. Time for the fighting platform itself. I'm going very basic here. Just going to build some walls and a roof and probably some blade traps on top to guard against anything flying. I'd like to drop grenades down on the roof below me for zombies attempting to reach the path. To ensure they land down below, I'm going to create a grenade chute of sorts to guide my grenades down onto the lower roof. I'll construct it using ramp blocks and the ramp inside corner blocks for the corners. On the outer edge, I'll put railing diagonals to provide the incline for the grenades to roll down onto the roof while also allowing me to shoot through them. Now, time for the test. Toss some grenades at it, and look at that! They're rolling down onto the lower roof. Perfect. I love it when a plan works out. Last but not least, we have the blade traps on our roof to protect against the flying undead. These will do a great job in dealing with those pesky beaks, so I can concentrate on other matters. With all this done, time for the final reveal and walkthrough. Starting at the bottom of the ditch, this area is extremely vital and will hopefully see very little action. It has all of our columns, but should be protected by the floor above. With the purple non-pathable blocks around the columns, that should provide adequate safety. Up the ladders leads us to the street level. There are several ladders to the roof, but I'm going to take the stairs. I added the stairs for those that cannot climb like the spiders. On top, we have the entire pathway that will cause zombies to fall while they try to shift direction too quickly while traversing the highly angular shapes. Up top, we have our fighting platform accessible by a simple ladder 2 blocks above the roof. From inside, we are protected by the shutter doors, which are anti-cop spit. And of course, our lovely grenade catcher. But wait, I almost forgot the fallen path. Recall that downward path that didn't work? Well, it has been repurposed to catch falling zombies, hopefully reducing some of the ones that reach the bottom. Yes, we are relying on fall damage, but we don't want all to go at once. Get all stuck and beat on my supports. I added stairs from this loop to the roof, so they don't ultimately drop down like the one confused zombie from the previous testing. Okay, finally time to try out the Horde. We'll be doing a Horde typical of what you might reach in a playthrough, game stage around 400. Cue taco montage. Hit it. Excellent stuff. That worked amazingly. The grenade catcher did wonders, placing all my grenades in the right area for maximum effectiveness. The windy pathway worked beautifully, and zombies never got close to me. I was never in any danger. Even the ditch below saw very little action, and zombies went up the ladders we placed and didn't really beat on the columns. Everything held up, we took minimal damage, and absolutely embarrassed the Darkness Falls Horde. And for those screaming now, but eerie, you didn't have to face the succubus. You you would have died. Nope. About a year ago, I designed an automated succubus killer. Check out that video, link in the description below. And a bit of an adjustment to our roof would completely eliminate her as a threat. Anyways, I hope you all now have the insight to go forth and build this design or something akin to it and go crush Darkness Falls or Vanilla or whatever mod of your choice. Enjoy. As always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content and want to see more. And a special thank you to all of our patrons whose generosity powers this channel. This is Eerie Knight signing off. See you all next time.